Today, we're diving into a bombshell announcement that's shaking up West Africa and sending shockwaves all the way to Paris. Imagine waking up one day and telling your longtime house guest, "Thanks for everything, but it's time for you to go." Well, that's essentially what Senegal just did to France. What happens when a former colony tells its old colonial power to pack up and leave? Stick around as we unpack the drama, the history, and the potential fallout of Senegal's bold move. To understand why this is such a big deal, we need to hop in our time machine and go back to the colonial era. Senegal was under French rule from the mid-19th century until it gained independence in 1960. But here's the kicker. Even after independence, France kept its fingers in the Senegalese pie. It's like that friend who crashes on your couch for a weekend and is still there a month later. You know the type, right? Post-independence, Senegal and France maintained close ties. French remained the official language, and France continued to have a significant economic and military presence in the country. Over the years, French troops have been stationed in Senegal, ostensibly to help with regional security and counterterrorism efforts. But here's the million-dollar question. At what point does help start to feel like control? Enter Bassirou Diomaye Faye, Senegal's newly elected president. In a move that's got everyone talking, President Faye has ordered the closure of French military bases and told French troops to pack their bags. President Faye, a young and charismatic leader, ran on a platform of greater sovereignty and economic independence for Senegal. His decision to boot out French troops is seen as a fulfillment of his campaign promises. The announcement sent shockwaves through both Senegal and France. While many Senegalese citizens celebrated in the streets, the French government was caught off guard, scrambling to respond diplomatically. Just a reminder to help us grow the channel quickly by liking, sharing, and also hit the notification bell for more updates on this developing story. Now let's continue. What do you think? Is this a bold step towards true independence or a risky move that could backfire? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Now let's dig into the why. Why would Senegal, after decades of close cooperation with France, suddenly decide to show them the door? First up, there's been a growing wave of anti-French sentiment sweeping across West Africa. From Mali to Burkina Faso, we've seen protests against what many perceive as neo-colonial influence from France. It's like finally realizing that your older sibling has been bossing you around for years and deciding it's time to stand up for yourself. Secondly, there's a strong desire for greater sovereignty and independence. Many Senegalese feel that true independence can't be achieved with foreign troops on their soil. Economic considerations also play a role. Some argue that the French military presence hasn't translated into significant economic benefits for Senegal. Lastly, we can't ignore the influence of regional dynamics. The formation of the Sahel Confederation, comprising Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, and their stance against French influence has likely emboldened Senegal to take this step. Do you think other West African countries like Ivory Coast will follow Senegal's lead? Let me know in the comments. But before you send in your comments, you need to hear this too. Apart from Senegal, several other African countries have also asked French and other foreign troops to leave. Notably, Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso have expelled French troops and shifted their alliances towards other partners like Russia, Turkey, and Iran. This move was part of their broader strategy to reduce foreign influence and assert greater sovereignty. The departure of French troops from these countries has been driven by growing anti-French sentiment and accusations that France was not providing adequate support in the fight against jihadist insurgencies. These nations have formed the Confederation of Sahel States to strengthen regional cooperation and independence. So, just how big is the French military footprint in Senegal? Currently, France has about 350 troops stationed in the country, along with several military bases. These forces have been involved in various operations, from training Senegalese troops to participating in regional counterterrorism efforts. But here's some perspective. France has a much larger military presence in other African countries. In Chad, for instance, there are over 1,000 French troops. So, while the number in Senegal might seem small, it's the symbolic significance that's huge. It's like telling your overprotective parent that you don't need them to chaperone your dates anymore. It's not about the number of chaperones. It's about the principle. Now, let's talk about the fallout. First off, there's the logistical nightmare of moving out troops and equipment. It's not like packing up your apartment. We're talking about military hardware here. For France, this move complicates their military operations in the region. Senegal has been a strategic location for French forces, and losing this foothold will require some serious strategic recalibration. But what about the local communities near these bases? Many have come to rely on the economic activity generated by the French presence. Shops, restaurants, and service providers near the bases might feel the pinch. But could this short-term pain lead to long-term gain for Senegal? Senegal's decision isn't happening in a vacuum. It's part of a larger trend in West Africa, and it's likely to have a domino effect. Other countries in the region are watching closely. If Senegal can successfully navigate this transition, it might embolden others to follow suit. We could be looking at a significant shift in the power dynamics of West Africa. Which West African country do you think might be next to ask foreign troops to leave? Share your predictions. This move also impacts regional security cooperation. French forces have been involved in counterterrorism efforts across the Sahel region. With their presence reduced, how will this gap be filled? As you can imagine, this decision has got the international community buzzing. Let's break down some of the reactions. Other African nations. Many are applauding Senegal's move, seeing it as a step towards true independence. On the other hand, the United States, UK, and EU are watching cautiously. They're concerned about the potential security vacuum this might create. However, China and Russia are likely seeing this as an opportunity to increase their influence in the region. But here's where it gets really interesting. So, what does this mean for the future of Senegal-France relations? Well, it's complicated. On the diplomatic front, we're likely to see some tensions. France isn't thrilled about being asked to leave, and there might be some diplomatic cold shoulders for a while. Economically, there could be ripple effects. France is a major trading partner and aid donor to Senegal. Will this decision impact trade agreements or aid packages? It's like breaking up with someone but still having to see them every day at work. Awkward, but it's not all doom and gloom. This could be an opportunity for Senegal and France to redefine their relationship on more equal terms. Cultural and educational exchanges are likely to continue, maintaining the long-standing ties between the two nations. How do you think Senegal and France can build a healthier relationship moving forward? Share your ideas. Now let's talk about the elephant in the room. Security. With French troops leaving, how will Senegal maintain its security? Senegal has a well-respected military by regional standards, but there's no denying that the French withdrawal leaves some gaps. The country will need to step up its own capabilities, particularly in areas where French forces provided support. Fortunately, unlike the countries of the Sahel Confederation, Senegal is not under any serious threat of jihadists. There's also the question of regional security cooperation. Senegal might look to strengthen ties with neighboring countries or seek new international partners to fill any security gaps. But could this challenge actually be an opportunity in disguise? This situation could push Senegal to innovate and develop more self-reliant security strategies. It's a chance for the country to take full ownership of its security apparatus. It's like finally getting your own place after living with roommates. Sure, it's scary at first, but it's also an opportunity to prove you can stand on your own 2 feet. As we wrap up, let's recap what we've covered. Senegal's decision to close French military bases and ask troops to leave is a seismic shift in West African geopolitics. It's a bold move towards asserting sovereignty, but it also comes with challenges. This decision reflects growing anti-French sentiment in the region and a desire for true independence. It's likely to have ripple effects across West Africa and could reshape the region's relationship with former colonial powers. While there are immediate logistical and security challenges to overcome, this could be a turning point for Senegal. It's an opportunity to redefine its place on the global stage and take full control of its destiny. The big question is, will this gamble pay off? Only time will tell how this plays out, but one thing's for sure, the eyes of the world are on Senegal, and the next few months will be crucial. What do you think about Senegal's bold move? Is it a step towards true independence or a risky gamble? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. We'll be keeping a close eye on this situation, so stay tuned for updates. Remember, in the world of geopolitics, today's decision can shape tomorrow's world. Stay curious, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more analysis on African politics and international relations. Thanks for watching.